So I give it back to my father, and thankfully that my father and my mother are still with us. But I give it to them because, like I said, if it was not for my dad and me following him around, getting signatures when I was old enough to get signatures, go door knocking for other elected officials that were running at that time, that's how I learned how to do and be grassroots. Connecting with the people was through my father.
That's real. I was gonna ask you the shit because we talk about the mindset, right? Like when you see what's the illest gem that your pops gave you that you stuck to? Because one thing seeing pops doing the work, but you know what I'm saying. But then what is one thing that you gravitated to you that said I'm gonna have to carry the torch?
My father's work ethic was impeccable.
Mm.
Even to this point right now. Um, he was, like I said, he was always that go-to person, and he just never stopped. There was no like I'm tired. He just always kept going if he didn't feel good, no matter what. My father, old school, straight down. He was raised down south, so his growing up was a lot tougher than mine's. So his mindset was like, no, I'm going to make this happen, and he did. Um, Actually helping the first African American mayor, which was Mayor James Gardner, to become mayor of the incorporated village of Hempstead. He was very instrumental in that. That man sat there for 16 years. One of the most, I would say, decorated mayors in the incorporated village of Hempstead, and I'd say statewide. Mayor Gardner is known all over. He was actually the president of the New York State Corporation of something, New York Corporation of Mayors, and something else. Well, he actually dealt with
All
all
right.
the mayors in the United States, plus on the state level as well. So my father was instrumental in all of that coming up, and I had a front row seat to all of this. Like the meeting before the meeting would usually sometime be at my house. And as a kid growing up, they'd be like, you hear, but you don't hear. You could sit, you could stay and, hang around, but what you see here and hear here stays here. So I always came up with that. And that always, a lot of
Yeah.
things that they said and how they moved stuck with me.
Yeah. That's that's real
I
work
mean,
ethic. Good call. Yeah.
they say that uh, children mainly not listen to what if their parents tell them to do something. 9 times out of 10, they're not really going to do it. Right? You have some that are a little bit better, but a lot of children don't listen. They watch, and they mimic behavior. Right? They mimic the behavior. So what your father was pretty much doing was just showing you without telling you, hey, this is what work ethic looks like. This is what, you know, being a man of the people looks like. This is what this looks like. He just let you see it and then figure it out later. You understand what I'm saying? That ties into something that Cuzzo says all the time. He says, teach them to fish, and then they'll learn you sell fishing poles.
Yeah.
You see? So that, I'm glad that, he got you involved because another thing that we have in the urban communities is a lot of us don't have that father to give any type of role model experience to us from youth, anything to follow. So we choose somebody, right? We choose somebody to follow, and so the ones that we do have, they're far and few. You understand what I'm saying? So it
My,
it,
my
it,
father,
it
like
did that
uncle to basically everybody.
right. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I be.
so everybody be like, "Where's Uncle Henry at?" And they wasn't a blood relative, but I knew what they were getting at, and I'm like, "All right, hold on, let me go get him."
That's real. Nah, I definitely felt the work ethic. I know that changed my life.
Yeah.
See, pops work. My pops worked for 27 years from 7 in the morning to 12 o'clock at night. Had 2 jobs in the same building and made sure I went to school right across the street. Would be working, come across the street, coach the basketball games, go back to work, come home at 12, maybe drink a beer, watch TV. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. And guess what? He's up at 5:30 waking us up.
That's old school. That's what it was.
That's how it is. And so as a kid seeing that, you're like, damn. You're doing all that, like, damn, I wouldn't want to, damn, it's raining today. I don't want to go out. Like, you're doing it, though. You're showing it. You're not late when you have to pick me up. You're doing everything you have to do. You might not be able to do everything, but what you can do, you're doing. You know what I mean? And so I looked at that as a young kid, like, look, I got to get to it. If you're going to be busting your ass to make sure I'm in this Catholic school, I got to figure out a way to make sure that the next generation of us, we have to have something to go to. Like, so that work ethic I felt.
Yeah, I mean, I went through my own trials and tribulations, so I'm not going to say that everything I did perfect, because I
No,
didn't.
that's real.
I'd be lying if I sat here and said that. Did I listen to everything my father told me? My mother?
Absolutely not.
No, but I could say if hindsight 2020, if I could have went back, if I could go back and hearing everything that I still hear in my head from them now, it would be much different.
That's real too.
Yeah, I think I ain't gonna lie. I think we all go through that. Like,
Hell yeah.
I mean, well, when you know how they say when you know, right? The problem is we don't know until way after.
When you
And
know
then we
better,
like,
you know better.
right? Then you like, don't like if you send me back and just give me like a little half of that information. Let me go ahead and do that differently. I don't know. It's one of those things of experience with life where it's like you don't understand until you understand. That's you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't
You don't
understand until you
understand until
understand.
you're punched in the face with it, and then
Right,
you understand.
right. And then when you understand, you're like, oh, that's the message.
Damn, that's the message.
That's a hell of a message, right?
That's a fact.
You know, we talk about also early influences, right? So let's talk about the way you're dressed now, right? We talked about the job aspect, but people say show up how you want to be treated, right? Show up
Yeah.
how you want to be treated. You walk and you carry yourself in a way that sends a signal telling people this is what how I want you to treat me. In a sense, now I'm pretty sure he's dressed and the people that he's around are dressed very formally, and you're also paying attention to that, right? So as you're growing up now, I could think that that's affecting your style, and you understand what casual and what business is. And now, when you go to start to work in this role actively, I'm pretty sure at 10 years old, you was kind of dressed like that. You know what I mean? Like,
He said at 10 years. He said at 10 years dressed like that.
I'm just saying. Some
He had a
slacks
suit, though. He had a
and a shirt or something, right?
Yeah,
So am I off?
Actually, even as going to school, elementary, I was one of the only kids that was in a suit outside every night.
There we go. The Reverend.
He nailed
Hold
it.
on.
He nailed it.
Hold on. We are officially adding the title, the Reverend.
The Reverend Honorable. The Reverend Honorable.
Reverend Honorable. And to commemorate, we got to get a little. The Reverend Honorable KD Boone. Don't you forget Reverend in front of that. 10 years old, I was one of the only ones in a suit, homie.
Yeah. And at that time was funny. My grandmother actually tailored my suits.
Oh,
So I give it back to
Fire.
them. They did.